Oh my God. I mean, how many historical statements that are false can you make in 20 seconds there? First of all,
So Ben Shapiro isn't somebody that I talk about all that much on this channel, but in this one, Ben Shapiro slams Sunny Hostin, the host on The View, for comparing January 6th to the Holocaust. The whole left Democratic Party acts as though J6 was just as bad as World War II, and he plays clips of the left's reaction, including Sunny, and provides commentary. So let's have a look at Ben Shapiro reacting to Sunny Hostin's horrible take over January 6th, comparing it to the Holocaust. But before we do, allow me to tell you about today's sponsor, Aura. Have you ever felt that sinking feeling in your stomach when you heard that a company you trust has announced a data breach involving your personal information? I had that experience a while back, and it really made me reflect on just how vulnerable we can be. A few years ago, I received an email from a popular online retailer I frequently shopped at. The subject line read, "Important Security Update." My heart raced as I clicked on it, and my worst fears were confirmed. They had experienced a data breach that compromised the personal information of millions of users, including mine. They detailed how hackers had accessed sensitive data, including full names, addresses, dates of birth, and most alarmingly, social security numbers. In that moment, I felt a mix of anger and panic. How could this happen to me? I had trusted this company. I immediately started to think about the potential consequences. What if someone used my information to open a credit card in my name? What if I became a victim of identity theft? This incident was a wake-up call for me, and it highlighted the importance of having solid protection against identity theft. That's when I discovered this video's sponsor, Aura. And let me tell you, it has been a game changer. Aura is a fantastic tool to help protect your personal information and keep your identity safe. Aura provides comprehensive identity theft protection features that monitor your data across billions of data points, including the dark web and public records. One of the most compelling aspects of Aura is their identity theft protection. They alert you if your social security number or other personal information is found in potentially compromised areas. If anything suspicious happens, you can rest easy knowing that every adult on the account, up to 5 people, receives $1 million in identity theft insurance to help cover eligible losses and expenses. This is a total of up to $5 million in coverage. If you're as concerned about your personal information as I am, I highly recommend trying out Aura. You can go to my link at aura.com/America to get a 14-day free trial and see if any of your personal data has been exposed. It's a fantastic opportunity to take control of your online security. I'm not leaving myself and my family vulnerable to data breaches and brokers. If you don't want to either, check out Aura. With their suite of protection features, you can safeguard your identity and keep your information private. Remember, the internet can be a dangerous place, but with tools like Aura, you don't have to face it alone. Thanks for watching, and be sure to click the link in the description to start your free trial today.
so yesterday, of course, was January 6th, and that means it was time to talk about democracy and quote-unquote threats to democracy. Now, it seems to me a rather large threat to democracy would be cudgeling the largest social media companies on the planet into censoring your opponents. That seems to me a rather large threat to democracy, a systemic threat to democracy. In fact, a much larger and more systemic threat to democracy than a rally that led to a smaller riot that led to a group of people who are fairly small in number going out of control at the Capitol and committing criminal acts. That seems to me significantly less bad than what the Biden administration did to censor free speech, try to force 80 million Americans to vaccinate against their will. There are many things that the left does on a daily basis in order to maximize power and prevent the freedom of Americans. And those are much more threatening, but the left's got one card and they're going to play it over and over and over. And that card is bad things happened on January 6th. So Kamala Harris had to ironically preside over the failure of her own presidential campaign yesterday in Congress. She had to certify the election as her job as the vice president of the United States. And here she was tooting her own horn about it.
Today, I did what I have done my entire career, which is take seriously the oath that I have taken many times to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, which included today performing my constitutional duties to ensure that the people of America, the voters of America, will have their votes counted, that those votes matter, and that they will determine then the outcome of an election. I do believe very strongly that America's democracy is only as strong as our willingness to fight for it. Every single person, their willingness to fight for and respect the importance of our democracy. Otherwise, it is very fragile and it will not be able to withstand moments of crisis. And today, America's democracy stood.
Okay, wow, look at America's democracy stood January 6th also, like 2021. This nonsense that we were like on the verge of the government being overthrown is just absolute sheer crap. But again, the left has to play that up because their actual goal is to hollow out all of the institutions of American life, ranging from church to family, and then replace them with an overweening state in the name of, quote, democracy. That's their actual goal. So they got to play up January 6th because it's threats to democracy. Well, we turn to the world's stupidest human being, Sunny Hostin, over at The View. It is amazing. There are only, I believe, 5 hosts on The View, and 2 of them have now made big Holocaust boo-boos. It's a pretty high percentage of Holocaust boo-boos happening over at The View. Remember, Whoopi Goldberg once suggested that the Holocaust was not based on race because her head is so far up her ass it's coming out her face again. Well, Sunny Hostin is somehow even dumber than Whoopi Goldberg. So yesterday on The View, this collection of high IQ intellectuals, Sunny Hostin suggested that January 6th was akin to the Holocaust. Now, just going to put it out there that a smallish riot at the Capitol building was not, in fact, comparable to the Holocaust. I don't feel like that one's particularly controversial. But again, not much going on upstairs over at The View.
I think we need to find moral clarity, in this country. And I just remember after January 6th, you had someone like Mitch McConnell placing the blame on January 6th where it belonged, squarely on Donald Trump's shoulders. Mm-hmm. And then you started seeing people backtrack that and losing their moral center. You had Condoleezza Rice, I believe, on this very show saying, we need to move on from January 6th. I say no. You don't move on because January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, like World War II, things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery, we need to never forget because past becomes prologue if you forget any race.
Oh my God. I mean, how many historical statements that are false can you make in 20 seconds there? First of all, I love that the Holocaust is now in American history. It's actually mostly in European history. Like, we liberated death camps, the United States. We actually were not responsible for the Holocaust. And then comparing it to World War II, where hundreds of thousands of Americans died in battle and hundreds of thousands more were wounded, and comparing it to chattel slavery, I feel that that's a little insulting to, Black Americans to compare January 6th to centuries of chattel slavery in the United States. That seems kind of wild. Sunny, but they are so over their skis. They got nothing. And so they're going to fulminate. Because when they cannot control the levers of power, all they can do is about how terrible the world is. That's all they can do. And then use that as a lever in order to control the levers of power again.
You might have noticed that the whole crowd was cheering when she mentioned that January 6th was one of the worst atrocities in American history. And then they were kind of quiet after she mentioned the Holocaust. Interesting that the audience seems to be smarter than Sunny Hostin. And I'm glad Ben Shapiro brought up the fact that the Holocaust is not a part of American history other than our brave soldiers went over there and liberated those people and put an end to the camps, right? But that's how fake news and disinformation works. A host of The View goes out there and makes statements like Sunny Hostin just did, and people believe it. People hear it, and then they repeat it. And then somehow it turns into a fact in their own little head. But I also want to mention the concept of being a threat to democracy. When somebody on the left says that Donald Trump or whomever is a threat to democracy, they're not talking about America's constitutional republic. They're talking about the kingdom that they want to turn our constitutional republic into. That's their democracy when they mention it. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Ben Shapiro is not really one of my favorite dudes, but I thought he got it right on this one, so I wanted to share it with you guys. Anyways, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and I'll remind you that you can catch me live with the Jar Openers podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And I do have a Discord that you can join. The link is down in the description. Hope to see you there. Other than that, I appreciate you guys for watching this video to the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one.